Hey guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV, and I'm joined in the house by our sextagenarian. Is that the right word? Bernard.
I don't know. It sounds very rude, that, doesn't it? I don't know about that one.
Sorry, yeah, the lack of sextagenarian, Bernard Denis. Hey Bernard, how you doing, mate?
I'm fine, mate. How are you? And hello, guys, although you're not there yet, obviously.
Well, some guys will be here. I'm just going to show you this jacket. I'm going to show you this jacket, and I've never worn this. I just put it on now for this show. And you can see there. What can you see?
Mike Summerby? No?
Yeah.
Is it Mike Summerby? Yeah.
It's Mike Summerby. Best wishes, Mike Summerby. And I reckon...
I might have had his signature years ago, autograph years ago when I was a kid, obviously. So it did look familiar.
Yeah. I got it a few times. I got it. I was just at the City Store, and there was a book signing. I know it was Mike Summerby's book many years ago, and I think I bought this jacket, and I got him to sign the book, and then I got him to sign the jacket. And it's me thinking maybe I should have got him to sign the back and not the front, but I think this is going to be a prize. I think it's going to be a prize when we hit 10,000 subs. A jacket. I'm only wearing it for today's show. It's a brand new spanking. It's even got the Umbro label. It's got all the tags, everything, and it's signed by Mike Summerby. I think that's worth. I mean, it might take us a couple of years, but I think that's worth it when we get to 10,000 subs. Look, the jacket on its own, you can't buy these. You can't buy these anymore. So I think that'd be a cracking thing. Let's have a chat with guys. AK850 is in the house. Best man, who I don't know, so maybe we'll be his best mate soon. He's in the house. Abhishek. Hi, Abhishek. Hope you're well. Edward's here. Chris Welch. Hi, Chris. Edward says, get well, Andrea Gomez. Absolutely. Best man is meant to be live. We're going live today.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Yeah, I won't say it. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we're going to keep it real. We want it. We thought we'll do it live today and get you guys involved. Hey, best man. It's not what we're here to talk about, mate, but you can talk amongst yourself about that. I won't tell you what he's talking about. But you know what he's talking about, Bernard, if I deflect. So it's about apparently someone's deluded, and it's not us. Dory, best man, we'll start. I think the idea is we'll start at 5 minutes. So when we get to 5 minutes, which is about 2 minutes away, and then we'll get in there. Chris Welch has had a few sherbets too many because he says Bernard is the voice of reason.
Absolutely. I've always known Chris knew his stuff,
Chris has been on the sherbets tonight. I tell you what, Liverpool scored a 94th minute winner, and Chris has been on the lash ever since.
Well, wouldn't we be as well?
Oh yeah, look, mate. All those times that a couple of seasons ago when we were Centurions, when we scored late winners, Raheem scored that last minute winner against Southampton. Everything, the Jesus goal, everything. We went absolutely bonkers. So, I can forgive Liverpool fans for doing the same. Yeah. So I'm just getting this on, stick it out on Twitter. And Chris Welch puts lots of. I can't count how many laughing emojis he's put up.
8.
1, 2, 3, 4. I tell you what, Bernard, you got better eyesight than me. I'm just going to put this on Twitter. We're going to talk about the Premier League results this weekend. Obviously, we're going to start with City. That's our most important thing, isn't it, guys? And then we'll go on to the other jammy so-and-sos who, pulled it out of the bag. But hey, if you want to win that title, you're going to have. It's going to be a certain amount of skill, resilience, hard work, and luck comes into it, doesn't it, Bernard?
Well, you got to have a look at the end of the day. But I mean, there's. I think Leicester are on a bit of a roll at the moment, aren't they? So we should be looking over our shoulders, shouldn't we? Really.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Leicester and Chelsea keep pulling out the wind. So, you can't take it for granted. Who should say Leicester can't go on and win it? I mean, it sounds just as daft as it did 3 or 4 years ago, whenever it was. So
I mean, if it goes against us next week, I mean, obviously we could be back in fourth if Leicester and Chelsea both win next week.
There you go. I mean, it's big weeks, isn't it? It's every game now. I mean, it's a good thing for the league. Let's be honest. It's a good thing that every game is an important game now. In years gone by, you could get by basically not winning too many games. I mean, look at Arsenal when they were invincible. They only won 26 games. I mean, it's 26 games is still a lot, but at 90 points, last season would have got you third, and a very poor third, really. So
no matter what they say detrimental about City, we've actually forced every other team now to actually go out and improve themselves.
They've had to raise their game. Oops, I think I might have done something really wrong there. I think just give me a sec, guys. I think I put the wrong link out. I just got to go back into my oops. Really, really sorry, guys. Just give me a second. I put the StreamYard link in instead of the YouTube link. So I'm just gonna have to go and delete that. Just give me a sec, guys. Just take me because I don't know how I managed. Actually, what I did was I didn't copy the YouTube link, because I go onto YouTube, copy the link, and put it on onto Twitter. What I actually did was copy the StreamYard link. And if anybody had clicked on that, they'd be chatting with us right now. So, oops.
A lucky escape for them.
Yeah, well, lucky escape for everybody. So I'm going to have to start all over again. So live on, just give me a second. Well, I have to read it out because I'm that old now. Talking about this weekend's football. Not goofball football, starting with the champions, Man City. We're still the champions, no matter what Sky want to say. Apparently, scoring a 94th minute goal is the form of champions. Apparently, but lots of teams score 94th minute winners and are not champions. So I really don't know what they're on about. But anyway, let's mention a few guys and then get them. Just give me a second, Bernard. How's your day been? Just chit chat.
All right. Working most of it. So.
Oh, well, it's life in it, in the fast lane. Life at the top. Just get a couple of people. Let's try and get Maria on. I don't think she will, but we'll try. I think people are just watching telly, so let's try and get a couple of people involved, and at least probably get going for my last two. And I think we've been here long enough. Here we go. Let's go back to the guys. See what the guys have got to say. Right, a lot of guys have said a lot, so we'll go through the comments and then we'll get going. Pep's comments on Mane hasn't gone well in LFC group. Abhishek, that's tough titties to them. Pep's right, Mane is a diver. We've seen it. He needs the slightest touch to dive. Sometimes he doesn't even need the slightest touch to dive. And sometimes, even without the slightest touch you dive, if you connect with the other person's ankle, it can look like a penalty. So dive all day long is Mane. Edward says, Leicester look good for top four, beat Arsenal next week, and they go 9 pots, clear them, absolutely. Chris says, I would like to say speedy recovery to Gomez. Yeah. And fair play to Balotelli after he was racially abused. Abhishek says, Chelsea playing well too with transfer ban. Their youth is at least getting well-deserved chance. They're proving the worth. I will say about that, Abhishek, yes and no. Mason Mount got a season last season at Derby, and he's like new signings. Pulisic, yeah. They had the transfer ban, but they'd already bought him, and they left him out on loan. Now he's there. Mason Mount's there. Hudson-Odoi's back from injury. They got Ruben Loftus-Cheek to come out. It's like getting new players. So I think, yes, the youngsters are getting a game, but it's like getting new players in. So yes, they've got the transfer ban, but they've got 3 new players. City Till I Die says, good evening. It's all gone wrong, Edward. It's all gone right. Sorted it out. Chris says VAR and garbage referees are absolutely okay, guys. A bit later than advertised. Let's get cracking. Bernard, were we crap yesterday, or no?
I mean, it was quite a good atmosphere. I thought we were all right yesterday.
The crowd. I thought, let's start with the fans. I thought we were very quiet in that first half.
Yeah.
I thought there was not a lot of singing. There's a lot of frustration in the fans. It was very, very quiet, especially obviously when the opposition scored. We're stunned into silence. I mean, we are stunned because we wouldn't expect them to score. And I think the fans were quiet until the second half, until we really built up a head of steam, and we were desperate to score. I mean, what do you think of the fans?
Yeah, but no, as I say, I've been quite unimpressed since about the first couple of games. The first 2 or 3 games were quite good, I thought, but the last 3 or 4, I don't know what it is. I mean, I looked around me yesterday again, and there's a lot of people I don't recognise. You know, every week I go, there seems to be different people in the different seats, and it's just really odd. And certainly, this is the worst for atmosphere I've known it for quite a while, actually.
It's odd because, I mean, James said he thought it was great for atmosphere. And I think it just depends where you are on the ground. There's different pockets. I think James was in the north stand, or Colin Bell, but right in the corner. So I think he was in that diagonal near the family stand, and Colin Bell next to it. But he's in one of the corners. So maybe the atmosphere, he said the atmosphere was good.
Yeah, I'm in the singing section, so it should be pretty good where we are. It was okay, but it was, as I say, it's just deteriorated this season compared to the other. No, it's not been great other seasons, but this year so far, it's been a bit.
It's been a struggle because, and I'm not far away from you guys. I'm in the 30th of the south stand, so I'm not too far from the away fans. It's very quiet. I mean, obviously and it happens when City fans go away as well. When you get 2,000 or 3,000 or even 1,000 fans singing in unison, it can be quite noisy, and it can be noisier than, you know, if for example, Southampton had 2,000 fans singing together, it was noisier than the City fans, just because they were all clumped together. And if you've got an effects mic there, that's what they're going to pick up. And obviously, when they were winning, we weren't singing much. And I don't know what it is now. Look, I think as older fans, we do like a little bit of singing and everything. My voice has gone, I think, after last season. I've done so much last season. I can hardly sing this season. It must be age catching up. But I don't know what we can do to change that. You know, I'd like it to be a more intimidating atmosphere and a lot more noisy and raucous in a good way.
Yeah. I mean, I think whatever they do, if they did the North Stand, etc. I think we've got such a lot of guys who say, "Well, I'm not moving, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that," and that's just a City fan thing. I think we are really struggling because most people are stubborn. They want to do what they've always done, and they want, if they go early, they go early. If they go for the pint and don't come back for 10 minutes after half time. I mean, a lot of City fans are still got a working class element there, but the very stubborn working class element as well, and that doesn't help really with the atmosphere wise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, when you go to, as I said, I rarely go down to the concourse during a game. I can only remember a couple of times, and that's to take my kids, or I've had to go to the bathroom myself once at Crystal Palace. Very rarely go, and it just depends if you had a few too many Diet Cokes or whatever you're drinking. Sometimes you have to go during the game.
I mean, Chris is saying there, is it because it's Southampton, not the Big Six? But I mean, that's part of it. Obviously, I mean, you can get up a lot easier for the big games, obviously, and obviously the time of day as well. Obviously the guys. Mary Dees was quite busy yesterday. I don't go in there a lot nowadays, but I was in there watching the United game yesterday, and that was a lot busier than normal. But it didn't translate into a fantastic atmosphere until the second half.
Yeah, that second half, once we got going, and I said to the fella next to me, I said, is it up to the players to get the fans going, or is it up to the fans?
Well, you remember, and I remember the Old Main Road, because even when we weren't very good, all you needed is for one City player to fly in with a hard tackle, and the Kippax was up. You know, they were up getting behind the team, and that's all we needed. That's all. Like any player, I remember Bravo getting some stick, and I said at the time that all Bravo needs to do is do something and bow to the crowd or something, and just get do something stupid. You'll get fans back on your side, and that's what City fans are like.
Yeah. But towards the end of the game, there was a lot of noise because we wanted that. When we were equalised, I'm going this ass about face, but towards the end of the game, there was a lot of noise from the fans because we were willing that second goal. So let's split this up. Let's talk first half. Let's go back to talking about a bit of the football. What was wrong in that first half? It's an open question.
You've got to give Southampton credit, haven't you? I think the guys they agree. I think they did a really good job that first half. I think they learned from the cup game, and you know they weren't very exciting to watch, obviously at times. But no, I don't think our big players aren't quite doing it like they should be doing it. I mean, when you've got your man of the match as Walker, I mean, obviously our big guys aren't stepping up at the moment. Yeah. And we're not finding those little pockets and them little triangles and stuff like this. And all credit to Southampton, they just absolutely packed that 18-yard box, and they sort of just nullified anything we had.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, when Walker's your man, but too many players weren't at their game. And Southampton, give them credit, you know, they picked up from Tuesday, and they were really, like you say, stubborn. They had 5 at the back, pretty much all the game. I mean, I was trying to catch out what was their formation. Sometimes it was 5-3-2, especially in the first half. They pressed a little bit higher than than they started on Tuesday night. At the end of the game on Tuesday night, they were pressing higher. Obviously, they weren't going to get embarrassed with 10 minutes to go and they're losing 3-1 or whatever. So they pressed a bit higher. And yesterday, I think they pressed a little bit higher too.
Well, I think usually on Match of the Day you get them analysing it, don't you? Things like this, but I don't think there's any nice little lines with Southampton. I think they just literally packed that box any way they could. I don't think there's any real set pattern.
Well, that's how they started. But as soon as our wide men got the ball, they were out there. They were out there with 2 or 3 around them, and I don't think anybody really stood out. And the stat that I mentioned yesterday, when Sam Lee says when we don't play well, we put a lot of crosses into the box from what we play. And he said against Norwich, we put 31 crosses in. I think it was the most since Pepper's been there. Against Wolves, we put 30 in. I'm just turning my phone down. And against Southampton, we put 30 crosses in the first half alone from open play. To, you know, I mean, if Sergio Aguero was 6'10", I can understand. They've got Peter Crouch up there. I can understand that. But we've got Sergio Aguero, who, the best player in the world, is not more than 5'9".
Angelino probably put most of those crosses in.
They weren't bad crosses. And in fact, I thought they were better than Mendy's crosses. But they weren't bad crosses. But Aguero's got no chance unless either someone makes a mistake or the cross is pinpoint accurate. Sergio Aguero is not easily going to out-muscle and out-jump.
So we get 3 or 4 men in there either. We've always only got 1 or 2. You know, some teams can get 3 or 4 in the box. We don't really do that. We tend to get, you know, at best, obviously 1 or 2 in the box. So, you know, if you got 3 or 4, you've got a chance. But if you do it like City, we're mostly creative outside the box. It's not going to work because they don't have the numbers in there.
If we're putting the high, and the thing was, Angelino was putting those crosses in early. So there was no chance anybody was getting in the box. What we normally do is we try and get to the byline, play, and as we're getting closer to the byline, as we're putting somebody down, you know, behind their defence to pull that ball back, we get our midfielders coming into the box. So we can have 3, 4, 5 men sometimes. I mean, that's why Raza was scoring a lot of tap-ins last season, where he was coming from the opposite wing and the ball come in and he'd tap it in. And this season, right now, we're not doing, you know, the thing is, if we're putting crosses in, we've got no one there to head it in.
I mean, the actual telling stat that I noticed yesterday was that we had 26 shots and only 4 on target. And that is abysmal. I mean, they were our worst stats yesterday. We had a couple of teams who had none on target out of 4 or 6 shots or something like that. But to get 4 out of 26 is absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah. Chris says, do you think City should put low crosses in more instead of crosses for big target man? Well, actually, what we do generally is put low crosses in. And when Kyle Walker he slammed that cross in, it gives Aguero a chance.
Yeah.
You know, if that cross had been in the air, someone would have intercepted it on the floor.
You looked in isolation at the game yesterday and just saw City's 2 goals. You thought, that's great, you know. But if you, as you say, the 2 superb crosses into the box still led to the goals. But that was 2 out of 50 odd. You know, so
yeah, we haven't got a big man. We haven't got a target man, as Chris says, and I just do not understand why we're doing it. But you'd think it's coming from Pep. Surely, we're putting in early crosses, so many. I can't believe it's the players have suddenly all decided to put these. You know, I really don't understand it. We're not there picking up
the Pep. I mean, it's not as though this is the first time it's happened. It's happened consistently. Yeah. So we know it. We're aware of it. Pep's aware of it. The players are aware of it, and still we're doing it. You know, it's
you know. It's baffling. It is very baffling. But look, we got those goals in the end. I think it was a huge relief for City to score those 2 goals in the second half. It was hard work, and let's talk about some other stuff, because I mean most of the guys have seen the game. They made their own minds up. Let's talk about time wasting. What do you think about time wasting?
Well, I think we did it with the guy last week, the goalie last week, wasn't he? When I was saying he was juggling the ball before he put it down. And it's not particularly the time waste, it's just the referees' inconsistencies. You know, and everyone's complaining today. Obviously, Ederson was booked for that's the first time we did it, and the other guy was doing it, Dalton McCarthy, was doing it and stop wasting time throughout the game. So let's have a bit of consistency. I mean, as you know, with my time waste, I think timekeeping should be took away from the referee. Anyway, I think it should be given someone else. So that's one of my little bugbears anyway, but at least get some consistency. If you're going to book a player for time wasting, be consistent about it.
I think what frustrated us in the first half, we got 1 minute, one added minute, and the goalie waited so much time. Now, like you say, there have been calls for the timekeeping to be taken away from the ref. There's calls for the stopwatch should only be running whilst the game's in play, whilst the ball's in play. But I think some games would last 2 hours then, because the ball's in play in some games in under 60 minutes of the game. So I don't think that approach would work, because we're finishing games at 5:30. Yeah. But there's got to be something, and it's got to be more appropriate. You can't have, like we saw the other week with 2 VAR decisions in one half and a couple of stoppages, and you get 2 minutes at the end. It's pathetic. Let's look at some comments. Barry Greenberg, hey Man City fans, prepare yourself for coming to Anfield. Liverpool will destroy you. That's what I say to you, Barry. Edward says, Barry Greenberg, nice to see a polite Liverpool fan as usual. Chris Wells says, I hate time wasting, got like 6 minutes. Chris, believe me, teams come to City, some of them, and they get a goal kick in the first minute. They're wasting time.
It must happen to Liverpool as well. Yeah. You don't notice as much when you watch other teams play, do you? You don't sort of notice this, but when you stood there live watching it, you do notice it more, obviously. Yeah,
well, obviously we're frustrated because we want that ball to, we want the game to be flowing, and also if you're watching highlights rather than the full game, you don't know anything about the time wasting until someone gets booked.
Like yesterday against Aston Villa, I mean, we don't know, do we? I mean, we couldn't watch 2 games at once. I can't go back and watch the full game. I don't have enough time in the day to do it. But I'm sure Villa did it a little against us, so I'm sure they were doing it as well.
Love that. So let's move on to the jammy so-and-sos then. As well. The jammy, what do you want to call them? Anyway, the jammy.
Let's face it, I mean, they had Villa had 5 shots to Liverpool.
United only getting beat 1-0. That's the jammy ones. United only got beat 1-0. No, anyway, we'll go to Liverpool. The jammy Dodgers.
I mean, they did on the it's. I think it was Ivor was commenting to people, wasn't he, about it's a game goes for as long as it is, you know what I mean? So you score in the 97th, 98th minute, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's part of the game time. But I was more impressed with the armpit offside. I thought it was only us that got those decisions. Obviously, when it happened to Sterling, obviously a very crucial thing for us as well at the time. But
I thought today I won't talk about VAR because every week we're
I think we have to with the Everton game. I think we'll talk about VAR for that one.
Yeah, all right, we'll see.
The game today, I don't think it was as bad yesterday. There was one where a penalty was given to the striker in one of the games I noticed. So there was another one.
We'll talk about. Well, I think we'll talk about incidents with VAR. Edward says this Barry fella is very deluded about the Jammy Dodgers because Barry says, "Bring everything you've got. You got. Come on, Barry. At least get your grammar right and your punctuation and everything, mate. I don't know what these capitals are for. Bring everything you got to Anfield." That end of day. That
was Schwarzenegger end of day. So perhaps Arnie's going next week or something like that.
Arnie coming, yeah. I'll be back. Get Barry. I'll be back. Is it Barry Greenberg or Gary Beanberg? I don't know, Barry. Anyway, I don't know what's eating back.
I mean, if you think about it, John Terry obviously coaches the defence, doesn't he? So he did a very poor job again.
Yeah, but I mean, look, as Ivor said, look, the game they were lucky. I'll say that. Let's talk about diving. Might as well. Pep mentioned it, and I think it's something that we have to talk about because there are certain things in the game that are distasteful, we don't like, and I think I talked on one pod with the Bolt from the Blue about I think it was that Fernandinho game when he got 2 yellow cards against Villa and he was suspended and people weren't sure what he was suspended for. And I went through some of the rules and said 2 yellows is 1 suspension in the next game, a straight red for dangerous play, 3-game ban. A 6-game ban is for spitting, which I think is a little bit, I think that's wrong. I mean, serious foul play, dangerous play should be a lot more than 3. But for diving, you just get a yellow card. Now, I personally think diving should be more than a yellow card because, especially in the box, you're trying to cheat the refs. You're trying to win a penalty, which can win you the game. So surely, for me, that's a big offence, and it certainly deserves more than a yellow card.
Yeah, I mean, obviously as well, now I thought that was part and parcel of this VAR to actually do things like tell the referee that, a yellow card should have been given for where dives have been proven to be dives. So, again, it's just another element that's just totally confusing me as to what it...
But the ref booked Marnie because it was a pathetic, obvious dive. But he's been doing that every week. That's what it feels like. And he has got away with it.
I mean, I love talented players. I love and Pep summed it up. He said it the rest of it. He's a great talented player. But if he was playing for City, I mean, some Liverpool fan today was saying Sterling does it all the time. And no, Sterling doesn't do it. Sterling sometimes falls over with the pace he runs at. Yeah. And he tripped over his own feet last year in that Champions League game. But he didn't look for a penalty. He just tripped over his own feet. So no, Sterling doesn't do it. Sterling doesn't dive. He just sometimes the momentum takes him over, but he's not.
I think there's a difference between going down easily or softly and actually diving or looking for the penalty. And I think that's the difference. Some City players, and I'm not going to deny this, go down easily. I think Sterling goes down easily. Although we're not as fast as Sterling. We're not professional footballers.
I think he's momentum. I don't think he does go down easily. I think he's willing to stay on his feet as much as he can, and I think it's just the pace he goes and the jinx and the little movement that causes him to
93-20 minute a moment. Sergio Aguero could have gone down easily, and we would have got a penalty. But he didn't. He wanted to score a goal, and I think that's the difference. We've seen it with Salah, and we've seen it now. Salah was. The diving supremo last season for Liverpool. And this season, maybe they're worried that refs are going to keep an eye on him. And now it's Mane. Mane's doing it too often. And it's not acceptable. I don't think... But what do you think? Is a yellow card sufficient punishment for diving?
Well, I don't. But, you can't send someone off, can you?
Why not?
you can't send him off. I don't think off for that. You can yellow card him, and obviously, what's the word? Obviously, the totting up thing. If you say he does two, he's yellow. It's like the United players. It James, he's been done anti, but a couple of times I've noticed he's been done. I didn't think it was a dive, but he is prone to do it. So retrospectively, they can prove a player is consistent with dive, and then yes, they get some sort of.
But otherwise, it's not going to stop because the risks, the rewards currently far outweigh the risks. The punishment for spitting, 6-match ban, and I'm sure your club will fine you heavily. That's a deterrent. How many players have in the recent seasons been done for spitting at an opponent? No, I'm going to suggest one a season. Now, if you do the same with diving, I'm not suggesting a 6-game ban, but what you're trying to gain by diving is winning a penalty. Okay, I don't think that the lawmakers are going to go and say, right, and really, really go for it and say, you dive in the box to win a penalty and you got caught, we'll give a penalty to the opposition. I don't think we'll go that far, but I tell you what, that would stop it very quickly, because if you dive in the opponent's box and the penalty is given against you and you lose the game, you've got to do something. And for me, the red card, if you can do it retrospectively, you get a 2-game ban. Okay, 2-game ban. Hopefully, it'll stop, and we'll see. I'll just give a few more hellos. A big hello to Spencer 13 and Kamal Dwyer. Kamal saying Pep playing mind games already. Chris Welch says, personally, we didn't play that well till we equalised in the 87th minute. Then that got us going, and after that, Mane rightly booked for diving. And Arnold and Robertson were the man of the match. So when Liverpool and City score a goal, that puts the other opponents under pressure, puts them on the back foot, and they can go on and win the game, and as both did.
I've just noticed Barry's comment again. I know he's an absolute pain by the looks of it, but about the diving. All Liverpool have to do, Barry, is just play football and play properly, and they're quite capable of beating Manchester City. They don't have to dive and things like this. Just play the game properly as it's supposed to be played. Don't go on about, shouldn't even come into it. You've got quality players. Just get on with it and win the game fairly.
Yeah. AK50, diving should be 10 games ban. We seriously need it out of the game, no matter if they play for City or not. And I don't consider Raz a diver. I think 10 games ban is a bit over the top, but I think a few games. Kamal, Edward says, I think you could make a case for Pep playing mind games for the Carabao Cup final, particularly when we were talking about how great Sarri was. Barry Greenberg over 9 pounds next weekend. We've been, Barry, come on, Barry. Barry, it's late, man. It's only 8:30, Barry, and you put me to sleep. Come up with some original, Barry. Yeah, we like a bit of banter, Barry, but come on, you're letting the red side of Merseyside down. AK850, I tell you what, he'll chop your legs off, this guy, for anything. Spitting should be 20 games banned. Not to spit at an opponent. Chris says, I play the game. Abhishek says, Barry, we are waiting to. I have a bad feeling, though, it'll be a draw. I've said it many times. I don't think City can afford to lose that game against Liverpool.
I think, honestly, next week, whoever wins will win the league. And if it's a draw, I think City might just edge it. But whoever wins, if Liverpool win next week, they'll win the league. If City win next week, I think City will win the league. Anything else, it's still up there, obviously.
I kind of agree. That sounds quite right. No wonder they say you the voice of reason. It could well be because
it's not a 6 pointer, it's a 9 pointer, really. Say Liverpool win, and we're not going to close that. Liverpool are too good. We're not going to close that gap. I don't care what anyone says.
I think it's hard. If they'd lost against Villa or drawn, and we'd lost to them next week, I still say we've got a chance. But if we lose them next week, I think it's been very, very difficult. They've got that bit between the teeth. They've got that.
Well, it's a boost. It's a boost, isn't it, for either team? Just think of the skipping our step for it, whichever team comes out on top. But if it ends in a draw, then we're back to square one, and it still could go either way.
That's why I said no one can afford to lose. Liverpool can't afford to let us get 3 points behind, and we can't afford to let them get 9 points ahead. It's going to be
The pressure's on us. We've not got a great history at Anfield.
I think them as well, because there's pressure on both teams. There's different kinds of pressure. We haven't got a good record going there, and we cannot afford to lose. But I said on the flip side, there's pressure on Liverpool because they'll know if they win, they're 9 points clear. But obviously, if they lose, so I think there's different kinds of pressure on each team. Let's have a look at some of the other games then. Let's talk about Bournemouth. Now, let's talk about Bournemouth. Bournemouth didn't score a league goal in the whole of October. They hadn't scored a league goal for 359 minutes. That's basically 4 games. Man United were coming off, was it a 3-game winning streak? And they got slapped down, back to reality, back down to earth by Bournemouth. How did you see that game going?
Yeah, I mean, there was United were as pale as them horrible puce pink shirts, weren't they? They were just horrible. I mean, I think the last 15, 20 minutes, he looked a bit like a decent team because they were going for it, but the other 70 minutes, they were absolutely abysmal. It wasn't a great game anyway. The weather was terrible. I think it was worse there than it was up here, wasn't it, down south? Windy and wet, but I mean, Bournemouth weren't fantastic, but that goal was superb. I mean, once he got that, I mean, United didn't have a clue, really. It took to the 70th minute before they even started to have a go.
Did United hit the bar or the post late on? But really, I don't think they deserved anything from that game. They got exactly what they deserved. And their revival, hopefully, is over now. Excuse me. Chris Welch says, City are due win at Anfield at some point. Ollie at the wheel, Man United are back. Edward says we should buy Aki next summer. Kamal says, apparently, Bayern have sacked the manager and they might not want Sane, who knows. Barry Greenberg's back. Come on, Barry, put some punctuation in there, mate. You're doing me eyes in. I have to work really hard. I'm praying that this is, come on, man. It's nearly 9 o'clock at night. I have to work hard to read what this is. It's lovely. We making all Manc City fans playing catch up every game so far. The pressure is on you, Manc City.
We were playing catch up most of last year, and I seem to remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
All credit to. I mean, he should just enjoy his team and enjoy. I mean, I'd love to be 6 points ahead with the game at the Etihad coming up against Liverpool. The other way around. I'd be like a fly on muck. But hey, just enjoy it, Barry. Don't stress over it, mate.
That's it. Enjoy the way your team are pulling out results. Enjoy the way your team are playing. Enjoy, your defense and your attack and your manager and going bonkers, and just enjoy the moment, And I think generally City fans, we look at Liverpool's score. I think we've got to do that, but we're not obsessed by them. But anyway, we'll roll on. We'll humour Barry for the time being. Arsenal won, Wolverhampton Wanderers won. Unai Emery, he's at the wheel as well. I'm guessing Arsenal fans are still not happy, but I've got to repeat this. A lot of the Arsenal fans who are making the noises about Unai Emery, I suspect are the despicable ones that booed their captain, their club captain, the week before. And I blame the ones in the ground for the booing. I don't blame them for the disgusting stuff on social media about Xhaka, his wife and his family. That's deplorable. We condemn that in the strongest possible way as decent, I'd like to think decent human beings and football fans in general. But these guys, they're getting on Emery's back more and more.
Twitter today, I'm just looking at a few things, and obviously there's a big thing that if they lose to Leicester next week, I think they're playing Leicester next week, that he'll be on his way out of the door, the manager. So I mean, that's the big thing at the moment on that. But Wolves were excellent yesterday. Wolves, I think that's the best Wolves have played. Even against us, they didn't play that well when they beat us, but they were brilliant yesterday. They were a bit more like the old Wolves we saw last year.
The problem is with some of the, like United, like Liverpool have been, like Arsenal fans, they feel entitled. they've got that sense of entitlement, and it's crashing around their ears, and they don't know how to handle it. They can't handle it. Wenger stayed too long. He stayed a long time. You can argue he stayed too long. Ferguson stayed for such a long time. It's very, very difficult to follow.
And I think of all the London clubs, I think Arsenal are the ones that suffer most from these touristy come by, you know, these fans. I don't think there's as many at places like Chelsea and even Tottenham at all, even though Tottenham's got a bigger ground now. I think Arsenal do suffer a bit like us, you know, where you get these guys and, you know, the empty seats all over the place, left, right and centre. They never get stick for it like we do, but they do have a lot of Johnny-come-latelys, I think, on the Arsenal fan base, and this Arsenal fan TV doesn't help matters, does it, really?
They don't help. The thing is that one of the problems is look, Robbie's done it really well. He's milked it. They're doing really well. They're making a lot of money. Those guys. They made a big business out of basically Arsenal losing and being crap, being in turmoil. But the fan bases can't handle the situation. They've had success, or they've been riding high for so long. United, as I said, Liverpool have that problem. United are having that problem. Arsenal are having that problem. They don't know how to handle it, and they can't handle it. And they, as I said, they feel entitled. Obviously, I think we're going to have a problem when Pep eventually leaves, because I think we'll be in the same boat, because he's the best, and no one's going to match up to him. And so to keep that going, you know, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. So I say boo to all those fans of other clubs who can't handle being crap, basically. We've been there, we've done it. And we've been through the cycle. Let's read some comments then. AK50, I'm not confident about next Sunday at all. We're still Manchester City FC, no matter the state of the club. However, that's exactly why they can sneak out with the result. Chris says, I enjoy it, not good for blood pressure. Barry says, we enjoyed it when you lost to Norwich. Yeah, Barry, we were laughing too, mate. Emery will go on soon, says Kamal. Edward says, the pressure's on you, Mank City. Mourinho linked to Arsenal. Thoughts, says Chris Welch. And he also says, if Arsenal finish top four, will the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette will go? I think Aubameyang would go. It all depends who's the next manager and how much Arsenal pay them. You know, if they're paying them over the odds, then that money can keep them knocking about. But Mourinho, I can see Mourinho. Apparently, the rumor is that Mourinho wants to come back and win trophies with the third English team.
Well, that counts United. He won't go back to United then, will he, obviously?
Edward says 6 times the police coming for you, Barry. Arsenal laughing stock because of their record against top teams. Baz, can we call him Bazza? Bazza Greenberg. Is he related to that Greta?
Look, saying about typical Arsenal, always bad defensively, but I think the problem yesterday was Wolves did really go for the jugular. I mean, he absolutely dominated the game.
Yeah.
Superb. So, I mean, they scored against a run of play, I think, Arsenal, didn't they? So I don't think it was, yes, Arsenal's defence is crap, but at the end of the day, Wolves are on the way up. They're moving slowly up that league now. They've got the obviously this European thing. Is it out of the way a bit for them now? And have they got any games left?
What, the Europa?
Yeah.
I suspect they'll have a game next week.
Yeah.
We've got one.
For the first time, I've been quite impressed with them. As I said, I've not been overly impressed with them even when they beat us. But yeah, Wolves did really well yesterday, and Arsenal couldn't cope with it.
Yeah. Bazza Greenberg, this game, when you come to Anfield, it won't be a draw. We just want to beat you, Man City. I mean, you see, Barry, you're like a broken record, mate. And I can only go on past experience. And last year you were 7 points clear. 7 points. And you did a humongous bottle job to actually throw that title away. If you don't win the title this season, honestly, I've said it long time ago, this is Liverpool's to throw away. When you're 8 points clear of City, it's Liverpool's to throw away, even early in the season. Chris says typical Arsenal always bad defensively. Bazza Greenberg, man, he's at it again. Liverpool had a big win against City. Champions League was okay, but in Premier League, is that like pain? Premier League, it would be so sweet. I'm surprised he didn't write sweat. Chris Welch says, can Wolves win the Europa League? That's a tough. I mean, Wolves don't win many games. They've only, out of 11 league games this season, they've won 2. 2 out of 11, but they've drawn 7. They could win it, couldn't they? Why not? I like stopping them. Let's roll on to the next game. Let's have a look. Brighton 2, Norwich 0. I think going to form. Brighton play some neat football. Norwich look in big trouble now. And can you see any way back for Norwich this season, Bernard?
No, they've gone, haven't they? Really, I just don't see anything. They're not even looking as though they're going to win games at the moment. They're just absolutely going through the motions. And Mr. Puka Pie has sort of gone off the boil. And I think it's the home form, isn't it? And if that's not great, which it isn't, I think they're really going to struggle. There's some big turnaround over the next few weeks, but dead men at the moment. I
think the problem for them is at the bottom three: Watford, Norwich, and Southampton. They've all lost this weekend, and other teams have got. Some of them have got something. So Everton got a point. Newcastle got a win. Wolves got a point. Spurs. Points above. They got a point, even though United lost. They're still 5 points above. Brighton, with that win, gets them up to 11th, and Bournemouth are in 7th. Sorry, Brighton are in 8th. Bournemouth are in 7th.
No shame in losing to Brighton. Brighton have been playing some really good football, as we know, but they are the teams you've got to be getting something from.
Look, I mean, Norwich have lost 4 of the last 5. Southampton have lost 4 of the last 5. Watford have lost 2 of the last 5, but they've drawn the other 3, so they're not getting a win. I mean, for Southampton, have got 1 point in the last 5 games. Not much less than Everton, actually, have got 4. Let's look at the next. Sheffield United 3. Burnley 0.
I think that's the first time since 1993 Sheffield United scored 3 in the first half. I think I heard yesterday. But they're playing really. I'm impressed. I'm scared actually. I'm a bit frightened when we do play Sheffield because I like the way they play football. I like the way they do the set pieces, and he's got them ticking. I've been very. I mean, I saw a bit of them last year on Quest. Is it do the championship stuff? And they looked okay last year, but I've been really impressed with how they've done this year.
Well, the thing is, because the table's so tight, I'm just looking at their form. They've won 2 and drawn 2 out of the last 5. So out of the last 15 points, they've got 8. But as I said, the table's so tight, that's catapulted them into 6. And I've got to say, I'm going to give this is not a shout out to Micah Richards, but I saw a tweet today. Someone was asking Mike Richards, I think yesterday, who he was going to have as his captain in his fantasy team because he didn't want to pick the same. Mike Richards said he had Sterling. And I said, I wish I'd found out earlier because I had Sterling too. And I only got 2 points. But I was fortunate enough to have that Lundstrom, I think his name is, who got 21 points. So that's saved my bacon a little bit. What's the next game? We've got West Ham 2, Newcastle 3. Could Pellegrini be for the chop? That's my question to you. Newcastle have done well. I mean, that shows them up to 15th. West Ham are 13. They've lost 3 out of the last 5 and drawn the other 2. So it's not looking good for Pellers at the moment. And they got battered by Oxford as well, 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, it was no aberration. I mean, Newcastle should have been 4 or 5 up by half time. Is it Maximin who's through a couple of times? I think he went to the Sterling school of finishing when he's got time to think about it. He obviously panicked a bit when he had all that time to worry about it, and that's what our lovely Raheem does. Doesn't it? When he has time to think, he doesn't usually perform. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously they came into it a bit late, but I mean, obviously it was. Newcastle well worth the win, and they played really well. Newcastle, I think it's a case of West Ham playing really poorly, and I don't think Pellers really looks as though he's confident in knowing what to do at the moment. To be honest with you,
Watford 1, Chelsea 2. Chelsea looking good.
Yeah, it wasn't their greatest, most dynamic performance, was it? And they were hanging on in there at the end. He nearly had a goalkeeper scoring on a goalkeeper, didn't he, in the last minute where. He came up and nearly got a diving header, but no, I mean, they were more comfortable than the last 10 minutes. They did panic a bit, but City do that, don't we? We go 2 up in games and then we let a goal in with 10 minutes left and we start panicking a bit. But no, I'm well impressed. And as I said, I might be even inclined to get Mr. Lampard to come to a bigger club one day.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. He's at Chelsea, he'll stay as long as he can. Let's go through some comments, get up to date, and then we've got about 4 minutes to go through today's games. Angus says, hi. Angus is here. Chris says, Norwich have been forcing to beat City. It's bonkers. It's baffling. Bazza, I can't be bothered, Bazza. Sorry, mate. Angus says, Norwich haven't had a win since September the 14th. I wonder who played them. And that was his. Mary Torty. Ray, what makes you so confident that City can win the league if Liverpool don't this season? The season's pretty early and it's still anybody's league. Did you ever believe you could lose to Norwich? Yeah, Mary, I did believe we could lose to Norwich because I'm a City fan and I've seen us play some tosh. And whoever you're playing, you might have a lot of confidence that you can win the game, but there's always that nagging down in the back of your mind. We're not arrogant.
I think when you're a team like City that's got a lot of style and skill, we're not just a physical team. Obviously, we're not nowhere near a physical team. I think physical teams can get away with it far more easily than skillful teams, if you like. So when it does go wrong for a team like City, it is going to go wrong, and that's just par for the course.
And the thing is, Mary, I'm only going on past experience, but the last 2 seasons we've got 100 points and 98 points. So I think we can go the distance again this season. I said this season that I think we'll get at least 90. And I think 90 points is going to be more than enough to beat Chelsea and Leicester. So if Liverpool win the league...
Liverpool, will it, unfortunately?
Well, and what Mary's asking, what makes us confident of City winning it if Liverpool don't? That makes me confident that we've got 100 points and 98 points, and Leicester and Chelsea won't get more than 90. So I'm fairly confident. Chris says, fair play to Sheffield United, surprising us wild and what a manager. Bazza, we have... okay, Bazza. Let's move on from Bazza. It's quite boring now. Angus says, Sheffield United improving. I'm impressed and scared too. Edward says, I missed it. Edward says, never rated Pellegrini too defensive. David Stevenson, I'm a blade. You think we can keep on Chris Wilder? I think so. Unless someone's going to come and double his money or give him a lot of money, I don't see why he should go. He's having a good run. It's his club as well. You've got to remember that, David. Why would you leave your club? If you leave your club for money, I have no idea what Sheffield United are paying him. They're paying him £2 million a year. Why would you leave? Even if, honestly, if it was my club and I was getting paid 1 or 2 million, £2 million a year, let's say.
I'd be at City for minimum wage. It wouldn't bother me, you know what I mean? As long as I could pay you.
I'm being real. If someone offered, if I was on 2 million at my club at Sheffield United, and someone comes and says, "We'll take you for 3 million," I'd say do one. It have to be such a ridiculous amount of money for me to even consider it, and I don't think he needs to consider it because, look, as I said, if he's on 2 million a year, for me, I'd be happy with that. Let's try and keep. Newcastle got lucky with the win against West Ham. Says Angus. David says, I think we've done that. Chris, West Ham got a good enough squad to challenge top 6. Yeah, I think they're underachieving, Chris. Angus says Pellegrini really gone downhill since 2016. Chris says Newcastle doing well without Benitez. Apparently, Frank Lampard says not what VAR is for the penalty. He's not happy. Hi, Liban. Hope you're well. But I'm just going to have to go through these quickly. Liban saying seems like Pep's honest comments on Man is diving. I've rattled the dippers. I'm loving it. AK850, I'll sit on the bench for 2 million, please. Okay. Angus says, will you promote your own brand of T-shirt that says "Do One"? It's an idea. It's an idea. I've actually, when I was in Germany, they asked me, "Have you got any spare T-shirts? You can sell some of your T-shirts here." I said, "I'm just happy to do the work, guys." So, last 2 games, very briefly: Palace 0, Leicester 2. Can Leicester win the league, Bernard?
I tell you what, they're brimming with confidence, aren't they? I mean, you can't. I mean, I did a prediction that Palace would win today. I don't know where I got that from, to be honest with you. I mean, and I thought on today, I thought, why did he? I mean, even before the game started, I thought, well, I must have had a drink or something when I said that. Yeah. Because Leicester are just on a high, aren't they? They could, I think they can finish third.
Yeah.
You silly. They're not going to win the league, Mr. Lineker.
Everton 1, Spurs 1.
Well, what a game. What an absolute game. I mean, for all good bits and bad bits. I mean, obviously, it's shocking, really, wasn't it? I mean, where did you start?
Well, I've got 1 minute to start and finish, but look.
Right, the Dele Alli handball was a handball. Why that wasn't picked up, I have no idea whatsoever. VAR is a total waste of time. Son getting booked for that foul that wasn't even him that fouled the play. I mean, getting sent off.
I don't think he fouled. He fouled. He may have fouled.
Getting sent off for actually something that it was the follow through, wasn't it, that caused the damage? And he was only booked. It was only booked. He only sent him off because he saw the damage done, and that can't be right.
He got the yellow card out to book him. He's seen the damage. You can't do it based on the after effect. And so the referees made I think a huge clanger. Some was mortified.
Atkinson was terrible. I mean, I think Taylor was the VAR guy as well. So you got Atkinson and Taylor. I mean, the two worst referees you can't put in charge of anything.
I mean, we got Ollie at the wheel, but these guys are like Lauren and Hardy, man.
On Son as well, I wasn't very impressed with his Mane type dive as well. I thought that was absolutely pathetic. I didn't like that. I do like Son, but I didn't like that. That was another dive.
The final thing I'm going to say is just briefly talk about the table. Liverpool top, City second. Liverpool are first, Arsenal fifth point in games. And in fact, Arsenal are 6 points behind Chelsea. So it looks like the top four could be drawing away. And as you said earlier, if Leicester beat Arsenal next weekend, they'll be 9 points clear. And I mean, Chelsea won the last 5 league games. Liverpool, Man City and Leicester have won 4 out of the last 5. So the top clubs are doing really well. I mean, Arsenal, they've got 1 win out of the last 5. Sheffield United have got 2 out of the last 5. There's no other real big form teams. Brighton have got 3 wins out of the last 5. But the best after that is 2 wins in 5. So, you know, it looks like it could well be Liverpool, Man City, Leicester and Chelsea, I think, drawing away.
Yeah, I think we're nearly a third of the way through out, and I think that's bob on really. And let's hope it's not Liverpool drawing away with those other three scrapping it out.
Yeah, Mary Chelsea says VAR biggest joke of the century. Martin Atkinson biggest fraud in refereeing. Chris says VAR and our referees are biggest crimes. Yeah, guys. Well, look, that's our time up, guys. Thank you very much, Bernard. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's lasted a bit longer than normal, but that's because we've had a lot more interaction, and we'll have a sit down and see if this is the way to go in future, to have this interaction with you guys. I like it, and I like getting someone on, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Edward says we go to Anfield to destroy Liverpool and win the Premier League. We'll win that Premier League, Edward. Don't worry, we'll be painting away. Don't worry.
Hey, get Johnson's paint trophy out.
Johnson's paint trophy. That's what the guy said to me last week. You'll never win that, and they have. So they always have one up on us. Well, thank you very much, Bernard, and we'll catch you later in the week. Cheers, guys. Have a good week.